Hey, listen, so I spend a lot of time managing in restaurants.
Okay.
And I'm actually just 2 weeks ago launched my own company, consulting in restaurants.
Okay.
Congratulations.
And
You're in luck. I
thanks
spent a
so
lot of
much.
time as a banquet waitress, so I know this business.
Absolutely. So I really have two things that I see that leadership is lacking in restaurants. And the first one is blaming generations.
Yeah.
I know this is something that Gary's been talking about a lot. But,
This shit pisses me off.
It drives
like
me
these
nuts.
these
You just had us
millennials.
both
I'm like, are
going.
you fucking kidding me? Like millennials. First of all, by the way, real quick, like 60s babies and like it's so crazy. It's I walked in snow 14 miles. It's ludicrous.
It's a story I make up. When I make up stories about millennials aren't motivated, I make up that story to justify why I haven't adapted my leadership style to lead millennials. The end.
Oh, by the way, historically, they'll be proven to be way better fucking people than you two. By the way.
They already probably are.
It's not even
I love
fucking
this.
close.
You guys.
Anyway, sorry, you got us
but
fired up.
people
Go
ask
ahead.
me if it's a generational issue, and ego is a human condition. It's not an age issue. It's about a human condition issue.
100%.
So absolutely. So go on. What
Go
was
ahead.
your
We're sorry.
question?
We got fired up.
No, I love it. That's great. So, so what you said, kind of a little tactical there. You said that you kind of blamed yourself a little bit and say you haven't adjusted your own strategies either.
Yep.
Is that what you're saying, Si? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, look. I mean, I think what Sai's going to say. I'm jumping in real quick. Like, let's just get everybody 100% account. It's crazy. I've just actually realized, Jesus Christ, my mom, my wife, my best friend Brandon, like the people I like the best are in the business of 100% on them.
Because
Like,
there's
no,
no ego.
I'm 100 on me.
Yeah.
They're 100 on them.
Yeah.
We never
and
fight.
together it's
Super
a sweet
easy.
spot. Yeah. There's something to fight about. I'm working my stuff. You're working your stuff.
And I think one thing that you might want to think about if you're consulting is, and this is where I think Sai is very powerful. We all go down the path of like, think about how you framed it up. One of the things I see that leadership at restaurants is doing wrong. What about fucking $12 an hour Sue? She might be doing something wrong too. Like you're supposed to be on time on your job. There's somebody else out there that will be on time. Like the world's not against you. Like, like it is, I don't know. Like, it's just so awesome to think that it's your fault. It makes it so easy.
Well, it's the ultimate
Everything's
freedom,
fucking
right?
easy.
If I have the ability to account for how I got here, then I've got the ability to respond differently.
And
that's so much freedom. Like, I could change this minute and have a whole different life.
My big thing for leaders, like my biggest thing is real simple. Like, I don't even see the logical path as a CEO or the leader of a company to blame anybody else. You're in charge. Just fire fucking Lindsay.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I see that same thing with individual managers. If they're running their department but they don't want to own it, then you're failing. I mean, you got to switch that around.
100%. If Andy is digging around and not managing the 16 people because it's super hard and he's got to do his own thing, like I see it on our team, but like Andy can come and talk to me. And then and Jake can come and talk. Like it's all open I've created a framework where the door is open. Like it's on you to not fucking walk through it.
Totally. And here's the human phenomena that happens, though. So something happens, and as a leader or individual, I step down rather than stepping up. So let's take it super easy. We got somebody sitting at a table that it was the grace between two sections, and they sat too long, right? Stepping down, I'm like, you know what? The hostess should have consulted me. They didn't tell me I had a table. Stepping up is, I had a customer waiting. I'm going to jump in and make this happen. But people step down, and then they justify why they had to, and they blame their circumstances. And it's called BMW driving. It's bitching, moaning, and whining. The hostess didn't tell me. I have too many tables already. So when you step down, then to fix it, they're already in a victim mindset. And they go, well, to fix it, we would need a whole different seating pattern. And we need to redesign the sections. And we would need, to train the servers. No, you don't. See, everybody thinks circumstances are the reasons they can't succeed. Your circumstances are just the reality in which you must succeed. And guess what happens every day on the floor is we have some miscommunication about sections, make it happen anyway. So what leaders need to do, instead of fixing people's circumstances, they need to call people up to greatness. Given these circumstances, what are you going to do to be great anyway? How are you going to succeed anyway? So leaders work on mindsets and mental capability. And when people want their circumstances fixed, leaders grow the people so that they can create magic in the circumstances. The ultimate freedom is my circumstances. It's none of my business how they are.
100%.
I can succeed anyway. And that's the freedom you're talking about. Like, I know I can win anyway.
My big, that's exactly right. And then for everybody who's listening, why are you giving the mental leverage to other people that are controlling your shit?
Totally.
My biggest thing, I think this is out of competitiveness. As I'm sitting here, I'm like, fuck, man. The reason I don't complain or do that shit is because I'm not fucking gonna give you the fucking satisfaction that you have any fucking say in how this is gonna play out.
Yeah.
Fuck you, teachers. Fuck you, like the current political, correctness. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Who's in charge of me? Me.
Yeah.
Blaming someone else is literally the ultimate loser move of a human being.
Right.
I
and
just
we gotta
really
be
believe
careful.
that.
There's a centered fuck you, and then there's a fuck you that still has blame in it. So when people are like, fuck you, I'm gonna conquer you through violence, and you cheated me, I'm cheating others. That's not what Gary's talking
ultimate
about.
weakness.
Yeah, that's the ultimate weakness. The fuck you is really, I call it immunity. What if you were bulletproof? What if I could walk in? And that's the problem with engagement right now is everybody's focused on what can I give my people so they'll give me the gift of their work. I'm like, engagement is a choice. Happiness is a choice. Your happiness is correlated to your accountability level, not your environment. So then people go, so you're not into engagement. I go, I love engagement. When high accountables meet awesome workplaces,
You get quadruple engagement.
yeah, I'll buy them whatever they want.
You know what I'm
but I'm
into?
not going to try and buy the love of a low accountable.
What about alternatives? Because to me, it's about alternatives. Every time somebody comes in here after I've done every move on them, honey, vinegar, accountability, I'm like, bro, go do something else.
Yes.
What the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah.
I was born in communist Russia. VaynerMedia is not communist Russia. Go fucking work at Ogilvy. Go work at Dunkin' Donuts. You're such a big fucking shot. Go fucking paint. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. And the key about that is, and that's where our styles are a little bit different because I'm just a little more hey, love you, and don't let the door hit you in the ass. By the way, but your heart is big. I know.
No. Let me go different. No. Let me give you the real answer, and they all know it. This is just me being a tough guy on the mic. I never talk like that in real life. One-on-one, I'm even too.
You're like an iron marshmallow. You're iron on the outside.
I'm talking like this.
Inside.
I'm talking like this because I'm trying. No, to try to impact. I know my energy for some reason gets people to do something.
Yeah, it gets beyond ego.
I'm trying right now to get 3 people who are watching.
Yeah.
I want to be their shield to get them to do something. And through that rant that I just gave, I'm hoping they're like,
You might wake it up.
In real life, with
resonate.
Andy and D.
I've met you in real life.
In real life,
you're a teddy bear.
I'll be honest with you. I need to be a little bit more I actually need to be more like this life.
Yeah.
Because I do naturally want to help because I think I'm so good. I have so much to give.
Yeah.
I'm so settled.
Yeah. You're blessed. And so you want to give
I feel
more.
it's a mix of guilt and responsibility.
A reality-based leadership we
And
talk
gratitude.
about, we're going to interrupt your thinking, then the truth will reveal itself, and then we settle your mind and move you forward.
What was the second question?
Yeah.
The second one is, do you think that the current state of whether it's management or development doesn't allow enough for problem solving or for allowing people to fail and figure things out themselves, that there's maybe too much corporate structure or structure fail-safes to prevent, whatever is defined as failure?
I've actually studied this, and there's a lot of it
this
in my
is an
new
interesting
book.
one.
Yeah, because I don't want to get into blame, but let me tell you phenomena that go on. So in the last 10 years, most big corporations have over-rotated on engagement, and they're working hard to buy people's love. But engagement without accountability will create entitlement. And so we've just over-rotated on engagement. Engagement's great, but engagement without accountability creates entitlement. The second thing that's happened
major historic flaw of mine
is what?
I am an entitlement creator.
In a way,
100,000%.
Yeah.
No
and
question.
we learned that, right?
I have absolutely started the process of adjusting myself in the last 18 months. I am the amount of entitlement that I have created at VaynerMedia for people that have been around long enough is an absolute flaw. Even in India.
I love that you know that. Your team will tell you every once in a while, I'm like, I want to help Gary not create entitlement. You've adjusted the course.
Listen, it's funny listening to what you think is important. My interest in never believing in my own bullshit is far greater than my ability to bullshit myself. I am very aware. What I don't like to do is make assumptions, or there's a lot of things you believe in that when you go into an organization, there's slight variances of it on the reality of the situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
the mix,
when I recognize the entitlement aspect, I just don't want to do the cookie cutter execution of how to fix it because there's a million variables that I'm aware of.
Oh, there is, and it's got to be organic. I mean, just the philosophy, document, not create, is why I, fell in love with the whole philosophy of VaynerMedia. It's like, because it's organic. 100%. And the other thing to figure out why this is happening is what we have done is we have really screwed up in our HR and our leadership philosophies, and I really dismantle that. And I don't just disrupt in the book, but I absolutely tell you how to do it differently. And let me explain. Like in the last 5 years,
how much pushback are you getting?
From the
HR community.
The HR community, 10 years ago, I got tons of pushback. I've been preaching this for quite a while.
Yep.
And now the HR community is like so hungry because they know their way's not working. Yep. They're like, amen, sister, amen, sister. So we're just coming up. Now there's folks that are pushing back. I get some hate mail. You know that. You put a book out. It's like people are after it. But most people are.
Do you love that?
I'm going to be honest.
How do you
I'm going to be
roll?
honest. I got to manage my energy around that, because when people write in, I probably feel just misunderstood, because if you talk to me, people go, "Why I would hate working for her," and that gets me because I care a lot about creating an amazing work environment. And when I first started doing a lot more document, and you get those comments online, I just don't read that much anymore online.
What about? I apologize to interrupt. What about the notion of being historically correct? Does that give you solace?
Absolutely.
To me,
so in the moment, it hurts, but where I take myself, I go, keep your energy focused, because I know this stuff. I was sent here on a mission in this lifetime.
That's how I feel.
And it's to help people get the thinking back on track. Because we've spent more than ever on leadership development in the last 5 years. Engagement has stayed completely flat. Something's not working where we're developing all these employees. And the drama has increased from 2 hours to 2.5 hours a day. I did this research that showed that the average person spends 2.5 hours a day in drama, arguing with reality, going, this is sick and wrong. This is absolutely ridiculous. I watch so many of your fans go, I don't have enough time in a day. I'm like, I could save you 2.5 hours a day in drama, just think what you could save you
an hour and a half of fucking watching YouTube videos and Netflix.
So now we're up to what, 4 hours?
And then, I'm going to...
816 hours a year per person in every restaurant. Do the math. Times their salary and benefits is completely wasted. And here's why. Because we're teaching the wrong things for leaders. Even... what we don't do for leaders is we teach leaders to give feedback. Now, feedback is good. It helps people understand, their impact on reality. But self-reflection is where it's at. And so
not only that, I really want to jump in here real quick because it's important to me. The whole feedback conversation has to be talked about. Feedback is politically jaded and is weighted. And a lot of times the leader who's giving the feedback is giving feedback predicated on holding back that person because they've hit their insecurity zone of this is my top. Yeah. And if I let this person exceed over, feedback is loaded.
It's loaded.
It's
so the
loaded.
First thing, the ego's got to be a place, the leader's got to be a place of no ego. Leaders have to do their work to operate at a higher level of consciousness so they aren't walking around with motive trying to, bring people down. But after that, feedback isn't that powerful because of that. So I say keep feedback short, like one sentence or less, and self-reflection long, because the power of a leader is not what we tell people, it's what we get people thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
So, Sai, do you use the opportunity, open-ended questions? Maybe it is just getting really, really specific at the end of a shift. Hey, how did you think your first bartending shift went? And just let that go and then let them spill to you?
Yeah. What I love is not let them spill, because I say things like, don't keep an open door. I know Gary keeps an open door, but the open door can be a portal for drama. People just coming by and complaining.
Of course.
And it's like...
But for me, it's like, this is fun to debate. Like,
it's teaching people how to use you, because the average person doesn't come in to bitch and moan and whine to you. They've heard a show or two.
Listen, there's so much to this, right? First and foremost, this gets into macro, right? First, all of us, have to be self-aware.
Yeah.
You have to know how you are put in a position to succeed.
And the way you get self-aware is self-reflection. And our workplaces don't promote self-reflection. The main role of a leader is to get you self-reflecting. So let's say that you are at the end of a shift, right? It's like I maybe have heard from a customer some feedback that you need, but instead I get you self-reflecting, I would say, table 21, talk to me about how you think that went. And they're like, I think it went great. The customer was an asshole, but I think it went great. And it's like, here's what I want you to do. Over the next day, I want you to come back to me with 3 things you could have done differently that would have changed that outcome.
Yep.
That's an assignment for self-reflection. It goes beyond your ego. It drops you back in. Because if you ask an open-ended question, people tend to just vent. And venting's the ego's way of avoiding self-reflection. And self-reflection is the first step in accountability.
It's fucking accountability.
But self-reflection is the foundation of accountability.
It's a gateway to it.
It is. It's the foundation.
How do we just hypnotize everybody to be completely in a mindset that it's their fault?
You know what? I think when you ask me the responsibility of a leader, because that's a designated group of people, I can teach them how to use self-reflection. So let's say that you come up and I hear from somebody that your behavior in a meeting limits conversation. So instead of me telling you that you're a jerk in meetings, I'm going to say, somebody who cares about you, let me know that something you can develop in next is your body language at meetings. I hear that the way you show up inhibits conversation. But then I do something really important to unhook the ego. I go, don't take my word for it. Check it out for yourself. When you're in a meeting, put your camera on, turn it towards you on your phone, and then watch yourself later. Then you come to me with what you found out. So I always want to bypass the ego, and most feedback ignites the ego. And so we teach leaders techniques to get back to the bigger part of your brain through self-reflection. It bypasses that ego. It gets you out of the crap. So the hypnotic effect you're asking for, Gary, is having techniques for leaders to move right beyond the ego of yours into self-reflection, and then you're going to come at it from a place of no ego and actually learn something and make some changes.
Mike, thanks for calling, brother.
Yeah, thank you so much.